are you? Check in with yourself. Notice. And begin to start noticing your spine. Is it upright? Is there a little bit of slouch in the low back? Can you stack your rib cage right over your pelvis? Or feel like your tail reaches down into the earth and the top of your head reaches up into the sky. So we're going to do about 10 minutes here for the concept that if you don't have 30 minutes, and especially not 60, then at least do 10, and maybe do it 3 times a day. Or more, whenever you can fit it in. However you can fit it in. Whether it be just noticing your spine like we just did and that's it. Whether it be the 6 directions of movement that we're going to move through. Or an entire practice. We'll begin with the cat-cow movement, like rounding and arching your back, which is flexion and extension of the spine. First 2. So whenever you go to exhale, round, pull belly in and even up. And when you go to inhale, arch. And continue to move with your breath. Time exactly to your breath. And the next time you've arched, neutralize the spine, come back to where you're stacked again. Your tail roots down, where your head lifts up. And then we'll move to what's known as lateral flexion extension, which is side bending. So lean over to one side, let that side scrunch up. And then inhale, lift to the middle. And exhale to the other side, let that side flex. And inhale to pick yourself up. And use the exhale to tip over. Feel like the breath moves you. And then the next time that we go to the first side, go ahead and land the hand on the floor. And the other one can come to your hip or slide up to the rib cage area so you breathe there. Maybe it reaches for the ceiling or over you. And you can always readjust. Make sure that you find where you're most comfy to find your way into the stretch, to feel your way into the stretch. And then come up when you're ready. Take a moment in center to notice how you are lopsided, how you are different on that side. You've had an effect on yourself. And then when you're ready, go to the other side and anchor or touch to find breath or lift or reach. Attempt to do what you did on the other side, even to take as long as you did to get into the first side. Come into the second side with the same intentions. Maybe again you make a little rearranging, changing. And then push the floor away, come back up, find where neutral is. Feel it out. Maybe let out a breath. And then the other 2 ways of moving are the twisting. So to the side moves that we went to first. Turn with the hand behind you. Leave the other hand from the reaching or use it to prop you up from the front, just so that we don't end up with the typical scrunching up of the front of the shoulders and the chest, especially if we're spending more time on the computer. See if you can grow taller and maybe twist a little more. And then unwind, let in the breath, maybe again let it fall out. And then to the other side when you're ready, let that hand go behind to open again the chest. You could even roll both shoulders, check in on them. They tend to help us a lot, like try to overdo. One being lifted will end up tilting your rib cage or your spine, so feel, is there a way that you can prop up taller and maybe twist a little more? While still being able to breathe and stay open. And then unwind when you're ready and feel where you have space for breath. Even in those super simple, quick little movements that we just did, you've already changed. If you only had time for that, that would be perfect. So let's move on to a little more, shall we? So if you've been sitting on something, move it aside. And then find your way to your hands and your knees. So for a tabletop position, adjust things as you need to. Especially body parts, like check your wrists don't end up bearing all of the weight. Check your knees if they need more cushioning and whether or not you're going to give your feet some stretch or point them. And then round your back when you're ready. Pull belly in, let head and tail come under. And then let your head and tail lift as belly spills as you release it. And of course breathe out as you go to round, as you flex. And breathe in as you arch, as you extend. And do it a couple more times, maybe exactly the same as how you've been doing it, or with little changes or adjustments. Do for now stick with the basics so you can really feel how simple is so great. There's actually a practice in yoga known as saucha, which is sometimes translated as cleanliness. It can also be simplicity. Keep it simple. And when you're ready, come back to a neutral place. And we're going to go into a side bending. And for this, you're going to shorten up one side. So right now I'm pulling this hip towards you in a way, and towards my head. I'm scrunching up that side. And then I'll come to center with an inhale, and then exhale to the other side. So what you will watch out for is when your head goes to one side, watch out for the hips going away from the head. Try to bring the hip towards the head. And again, inhale for center, and exhale for the other side. And if you want a different view of that, so you can see, when your head goes to one side, bring the hip. So again, watch out for it moving away from you. Bring it towards you. So what it could look like if I was here, if you could see from the side, then one side is scrunching, right? And the other side is extending. I'm trying to bring the rib cage and the hip closer together. Make sure you're still breathing. And then if you need a moment off your hands, go ahead and give them some movement. Maybe wipe off stuff. Warm them up. And then we'll go for the last one again, the twist, the last two. So lift one of your arms and turn it so that your baby finger is facing up. And then lift the arm just enough that we're not scrunching up the shoulder or hurting it, but you feel the muscles in between the shoulder blades doing some work. And then turn open as you inhale. And as you exhale, reach under without getting closer to the floor. So inhale and come up. And exhale and twist. So we're thinking of moving again from the rib cage and from the shoulder blade area. Last one, reach under with your exhale, make it a squeeze, like you're trying to reach for the wall over there or whatever's there for you. And then land the hand, and the other one lift it up again with the baby finger facing up. And then lift it a little higher, finding the muscles back there. And then open, inhale, and exhale, squeeze. And keep going with breath. Lead from the baby finger, lead from the upper back as well. Feel like we're letting the shoulders stay in the back. And watch out for the other hand getting too heavy on the floor. I think one more, I didn't count. And then last squeeze. And we're done. 2 different ways of moving through the 6 different directions of movement. Pardon me, the 6 basic directions. They're all different. Oh goodness, some days. And I hope you feel better. I hope that you feel like there's more space to breathe, more space to digest, bringing us back to our rest and digest, or being able to settle, being able to just have space for all the constriction that might come in. So I look forward to seeing you again soon.